I'll do it later. I think that's what most of us say when we finish that last bind off stitch, or wrap up a spinning project, or pick up and work a few rows into the second sleeve. Weaving in ends, soaking and blocking. Yeah, I'll do it later. Well, bestie, it is later. Later is here, and thus it is time to actually do all those things one so easily puts off for later. Hiya besties, and welcome to another video on my channel. I am exposing myself a little bit here. I often finish things in my videos here on the channel and go on to say, I'll go ahead and do this thing, block it, weave in this end after filming the video. And then I just kind of let stuff pile up for a while, especially when I spin yarn. It often takes me ages to actually get around to soaking my yarns. So I'm gonna give myself a stern talking to. Shy, you get those things in soak right away or there will be no new cast-ons. Right, okay, chill. Yikes. I have two yarns that need soaking, as well as my two Sophie projects. They both need to be blocked. I also have a sleeve to finish. I need to reorganize my embroidery floss after my latest project, and I also need to dye some wool. So today I invite you to join me for some easy maintenance fixes, maybe weave in some ends, maybe put something in soak while you watch so you can then go and block it after the video, or just grab a snack or a drink and a project and hang out for a bit. That works too. But yeah, I'm gonna get straight to it, so let's go. I'm going to start the day off by packing up an art card. I did a Valentine's trade with a collector friend, but life kind of happened and I ended up finishing it on Valentine's Day, so I need to send it out. Normally I just use a card sleeve and then use some plain cardstock around the card for protection in shipping, but this time I wanted to do a little bit of a cuter packaging. I don't know, I'm always inspired by Valentine's Day. I have this pink and sparkly cardstock that I'll cut out to a bit bigger than my card, and then I get to use my lace hole puncher. I love when I get to use this one, it's so cute. I also have a bunch of lace stickers left over from the wedding, so I'll use one of those before rounding the corners of the card. For this one, I'll pick out this Sumiko Gurashi letter set. I have a small collection of cute letter sets, and Happy Mail or A to Z's are the perfect things to send in these. Plus, it's a good excuse to pick them up occasionally. And that's my first little project of the day all sorted. Very nice. I am going to say the magic word later now, but later today I will drop it off at the post office, which I did in fact do, so win. Now it is time for the blockening. I'm going to go ahead and block both my Sophie shawls and soak my two skeins of yarn all in one go. I used the soak wool wash for this. I tend to use a wool-friendly detergent when washing my wool items, at least if they feel dirty, but for the initial soak after finishing a project, I love to use a soak. It is also detergent, but you don't have to rinse it, so I guess it doesn't feel as clean, but for a first soak it's fine and it smells so good too. But that thing about dirt is probably just my brain though. After a good soak, I will put them on a 12-minute spin cycle, and once that is done, it is time for the blocking mats. I ended up folding the shawls double for blocking, as they would otherwise take up a silly amount of space. They'll dry just fine anyway. Then I lay the yarns kind of flat on my drying rack after a good thwack, which I didn't really catch on camera. Oops. But I thwack the yarn a couple of times and then I lay it to dry. Pro tip, don't thwack your thumb into the floor when you do this. I did and it was not a good time. But I have not had enough of putting wool in water for the day, so I have dug out this braid of corridel that I want to dye, so it needs to go in a bath as well. This time we're not using wool wash, we are soaking in water and white vinegar. I unbraid the wool first as I don't want to end up resistance dyeing it, and then it's going to be soaking for a while, an hour give or take, as I want the wool to be fully saturated. That hour is the perfect time for doing some floss reorganization. I recently bought these cases for bobbin storage and it's been such a massive upgrade to my previous floss storage, aka everything just piled into a box. Also, here's a hydration check for you besties, go get some water. Anyway, I used one of these boxes to house the floss I used for my most recent cross stitch project, and that floss needs to go back into regular storage. I do want to just reorganize everything though, by colour, because I can, and I feel like I don't know if this new storage system was a good or a bad idea, because this is too much fun, and I feel like every time I add new colours I'm gonna need to do a total reorganization, which is fine, but also help me. Anyway, we are done, and so I'm going to put the boxes back into my embroidery tote and put that back on its shelf. So far this new system in the sewing cabinet has been working great. But back to the kitchen. I'm picking out what dyes I want to use for this wool braid. This last little bit of brown will be nice, I think. Also red, this one dilutes into a nice pink. I'll also pick out this amethyst, not sure about it, but I often end up reaching for it. And maybe yellow. I think I accidentally summoned Cheddar by picking this one up. It is his colour after all. And now we can get to the actual fun. I don't really have a plan other than I want beige brownish and also a pink in there, so that's where I'll start. I wouldn't mind some yellow orangey bits, so I thought about adding some yellow dye, but the browns separated a little in places, giving me that orangey warm pink that I wanted, so I didn't end up adding anything but these two colours. And that's the wool done. I'll put it out on the balcony to cool down before washing it. And now we knit on a sleeve. I really want to finish this unicorn sweater before next week, as I am going to a wool festival and I want to wear this. Luckily, I know the chart by heart now and I'm relatively quick with the colour work. The sleeves are also straight, so I have no decreases to keep track of. So this is actually pretty relaxing. It's just second sleeve, you know. I will say though, this colourful yarn was like a little treat in every stitch because there are so many colours happening and it's just been firing off all of the happy brain chemicals. Also, I have to mention this before anyone gets worried. I have a massive bruise on my finger. Yes, I'm okay. I just got stuck in the rains when the horse spooked thanks to a loose dog combined with icy footing, and so 2 of my right hand fingers got hurt. It looks worse than it is though, but I can't wear my rings right now. Oh well. But speaking of hurt hands, it's important to take breaks when knitting or doing any crafting, so now it was a good time to A, appreciate the sunlight shining in on my shawls, and B, get the wool on the drying rack as well. Behind the scenes I've taken micro breaks to wash and put it in the machine as well, but now let's put it out to dry. I am so happy with the result on this one. It turned out great and I can't wait to see what the actual yarn will end up looking like. Anyway, back to knitting. I ended up moving to the bed for a while. I rarely knit in bed, but as you have seen, the sun shines in pretty intensely in the living room this time of year, so while I appreciate the sun a lot, it's also bothering me when I can't escape it. So the other room it is. For all of like 20 minutes before the sun moves to where it shines in there. But by then we can move back to the living room, so win-win. And we got to hang out with the pony collection for a bit, so win-win-win. But now I'm kind of just speed knitting the rest of the sleeve. I ended up modifying from what the pattern said to do. The sleeves are pretty wide on me and I really don't like wide ends of the sleeves. So I am doing a couple rounds of decreases for a balloon sleeve effect. Then instead of the stripy cuff the pattern has, I will be doing a half twisted rib with an Italian bind off, as is my usual MO. And just like that, we are actually finished. Oh my goodness, I can't believe unicorn sweater is done. It looks a little stiff and bulky right now, but my hopes are that it'll relax in blocking and my split hem will stop curling. So let me actually weave in all my ends and block this instead of putting that off for later, because we all know how that goes, right? While it is soaking, I will also go ahead and get the things we soaked yesterday off of the drying rack and blocking mat so we can block the sweater. I am so pleased, besties. We actually got all that was on my list done. I am extra happy because, hello. I went that extra mile and I wove in ends and I blocked my unicorn sweater. Instead of starting a new doom pile of stuff that I will finish later, this is what the sweater looks like. You're gonna have to pardon my sweatpants because I'm wearing sweatpants, but I'm gonna stand up and show you what we look like because I'm excited. It's so good. It's so good. The high-low actually works now. Let me scoot in. I'm so pleased with it. The high-low works now that it's blocked. Doesn't flip up anymore and it also doesn't look stupid. I was worried it was gonna look stupid. Before this was blocked, it was, as you saw in the video, very stiff and kind of like a tent basically on my body, and it is a very wide sweater. It's got a lot of room and the sleeves are also very big. I mean, that's my arm. It's a whole other arm. I don't mind that. I love a big poofy sleeve and I do love an oversized sweater, but I was a little bit worried this was gonna look really stupid on me, but I actually love it. The neckline grew a little in blocking. It was kind of higher, like a mock neck almost before blocking, but I don't mind. It still looks nice. I'm still very happy, and it's full of unicorns. The sparkly yarn is so good. It's not actually sparkly, but like it's so colourful it kind of looks sparkly. So I'm very happy with this. Very glad we finished it. Glad I modded the sleeves to be poofy sleeves with cozy cuffs. That's this one. I'm very happy we actually got around to that. You will see this more. I will wear this. I will wear the heck out of this. So that was a very short part with me wearing it, but I will most probably wear it for the wool road trip vlogs, so you're probably gonna see it in action a little bit more. But yeah, that's this one. Also, like, the reveal doesn't really reflect what the pattern says because I modded the body, I modded the sleeves. This part with like what this looks like, that's pattern, but the rest kind of like I did my own thing with it. So yeah, but that's mine. That's my wild horses sweater. And yeah, anyway, we've seen my other finished projects before, like my 2 skeins of yarn that I made in 2 previous videos. I worked on this one in 2 videos and this one in 1 video. We also saw my 2 scarves in previous videos. The yarns are a little fluffier post soaking, and that's what typically happens when you soak your hand spun yarns, so no worries there, and they are also both a little bit more balanced than they were straight off the spinning wheel. As a refresher, this was my yarn spun out of all of my yarn ends from 2025, and that's why it's got so much going on, so many colours. And this second skein was a braid of super cute pink wool that I bought last year at the wool festival I'm going to next week. It's pretty, it's pink, there's not really a lot else going on, it's a 3-ply. Yeah, that's kind of it. I just spun a cute skein of yarn. But anyway, a refresher also for the scarves. These are my 2 Sophie projects. I mean, we talked about it in the video as well, but for the sake of an outro, this is my Sophie scarf, this is my Sophie shawl. I knit the bigger version of the scarf, and it is alpaca that I dyed myself. And it's very tiny, but kind of cute. The bigger one is the Sophie shawl, which I didn't knit a specific size of, I just measured how much yarn I had and by weight, and then I measured where I needed to start decreasing. And I think I did that wrong because I ended up losing yarn chicken in the pink end, but that's okay. That's okay. This yarn is yarn I spun myself. It's merino, baby llama and rose fibre, and it's spun in a fractal rainbow, which gives it this kind of stripy but mild but rainbowy look. So yeah, that's those 2. I made a video about the Sophie patterns recently. There are 3 patterns, there's also a hood, but I have not knit that one. I made a video about those recently, and that's why I made 2 Sophie random yarns, sorry. That's why I made 2 Sophie patterns in short succession, in one go, kind of. And you can find that video linked up in the corner in case you are interested. There are some opinions about the patterns. I asked for audience opinions. It was a really fun video to make and post. My fringe is like deciding it's time for a middle part. I don't know what's up with that. Why can't fringes stay styled throughout like 10 minutes? I don't know. Anyway, the wool braid I dyed. This is new to this video. This is something that just happened in this video. If this looks similar in colour to my Sophie scarf, it's because it's literally the same dye recipe. I had a very small amount of the beige I used in that yarn left over, and so I used that up in this one. And I used a bit of the reddish pink. I think this pink was over like I mixed in some purple in this pink. I think I did not do that in this, but it's pretty much the exact same dye recipe. They did behave a little bit different on the wool versus the yarn, which is probably down to fiber content. This is Corridel, and this is alpaca, and of course one is literally fiber and the other one is already spun up yarn, so yeah. But also another factor in the fact that the dye behaved differently in this one is I mixed the beige dye back in 2024, and I think the pink is even older, so it's no wonder like the dyes separate a little and strike at different speed, and that's what different pigments do either way. But yeah, it's no wonder they behave a little bit differently now to what they did when I dyed the yarn. They're still going strong though, so there's that. But either way, I'm really happy. I'm really happy with how this came out, and I'm gonna unbraid this after the video and I'm gonna fluff it up a little before World Road Trip, as this is something I dyed up to use in a workshop we are attending this year, and I don't want to waste precious workshop time by having to like fluff my fibre up. So yeah, I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna put this in the later pile. Please don't yell at me. But yeah, very, very happy with this anyway. It's very like warm and soft looking, and I think it's going to turn into really pretty yarn, hopefully. I think we're borrowing spinning wheels there, so I'm a little bit nervous since I'm not used to spinning on anything but my little antique wheel. So if it's a modern like 2-treadle wheel, I don't know how that's gonna go, but it'll be fine. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. But anyway, that's me talking about yarn and stuff for an awful long time, so oh my goodness. Now, how about you, bestie? Did you get to finishing up something for real today? Do you also create little piles of I'll do that later? Or are you really good with actually finishing, soaking, blocking, logging on Ravelry, taking photos? Are you really good with all that? Please let me know in a comment down below, or just tell me about your day or a project you're excited about or anything anything else you want to chat about. And if you don't feel like chatting, that is of course totally fine too. Go ahead and leave some party emojis for finished projects this week. And while you are in the comments, please also take a teeny tiny second to like the video if you liked it, as that helps me out a ton. Thank you. And also, if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for hanging out today and for keeping me company and holding me accountable for finishing my projects throughout the duration of this video. If you are new and you'd like to keep seeing what I get up to here on the channel in the future with my videos, please consider clicking the subscribe button down below and also ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload a new video. Please also feel free to check out the links in the description of the video. We have a Discord for subscribers, and we also have a link to join memberships in case you want to leave some extra support for me and what I do here on the channel. That really helps me do what I do on here. If that's something you'd like to contribute to, there is that link. There is also a Ko-fi, which I'm going to talk about now for a second. I also have links to my socials as well as pattern shops on Ravelry and Ko-fi. I have also recently started posting my patterns on Etsy, starting with my cross stitch ones. The price is a little bit higher on Etsy versus on Ko-fi due to Etsy having a lot of fees on everything, just for transparency. But I figured I could reach more people on Etsy that maybe don't also know about the channel and stuff like that. So that's why I've started posting on there. So please, if you can, even if you don't want to shop, if you like my patterns, please leave a little heart on the patterns or favorite my shop or something on Etsy if you can. If you would like to just boost a little, I would be super duper grateful for that. So thank you so much if you check out my Etsy. Eventually I will get around to posting more stuff like my stitch markers and stationery on there as well, just like I have on my Ko-fi, but one small step at a time, right? Etsy is a little bit scary. Actually, I used to sell on Etsy, not a lot, but a little bit, and my Etsy account is like 14 years old, but I stopped in 2012 and I never uploaded on there again until now. So yeah, if you want to fab my shop or my stuff, please feel free to, and I would be so grateful for that. But anyway, that's me yapping for way too long, so I'm gonna let you go and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you all so much once again for hanging out with me today, and I will see you again very soon in my next video. You guys take care now. Bye.